girls, what's up? It is Monday. It is 8:30, which means it's time for Conversations with Teresa. I'm your host, Teresa Aline. Thank you guys always for tuning in. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your encouraging words. And just thank you for being you. Today, I want to jump right into it. There's this word that keeps coming up. It's been coming up like strong. You know how when you say something and Google's listening, and then all the different things keep happening, keep coming up. You the ads and things like that. Well, today and yesterday, actually, it started yesterday. This word fear keeps coming up. I made a post about it earlier today, just about our church service, and our minister was talking about just not being afraid. And then I was talking to um, my sister Yvonne, and we were just talking about what if we lived life not afraid. And then, I mean, like I said, I couldn't even tell you the amount of uh, they weren't ads. They were just TikTok things or whatever social media I was on that was talking about fear. And so I just want to talk about that because it can feel so real, right? We talked about yesterday at the service, and I've heard this before, the acronym for fear, and it was false evidence appearing real, right? And that's really what fear is. We tend to imagine and puff up, these things that we're afraid of, and they may or may not be real. A truck coming at you 50 miles an hour and you're in the street and you can't move, that's some reason to be fearful, right? But otherwise, we fear things that may or may not happen. So there's that false evidence, but it appears so real that it can captivate us. So, and it's no different when we are going through perimenopause. There's so many different feelings that come up that can scare the bejeebies out of us, right? And so I couldn't call them hidden fears, but I'm going to name off a few things, and you can tell me, see if there's something that resonates with you. These different thoughts, these little sound bites. Some of them may resonate with you, some of them may not. But I think about things like, I don't recognize my own body anymore. Um, that could be one thing, like, especially if you were like always fit, and you didn't have the whoop, 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 the side handles or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, you've got this extra weight on you, or that your skin just feels different. It could feel dry and itchy, and our face, our wrinkles, all of that stuff. We may not recognize our own body anymore, and that can bring up some thoughts and some feelings. Another thought, another feeling. Well, people think I'm too emotionally unstable because we have our good days and bad days, right? And so we're wondering, what are people going to think? And especially, I think, at work, we can start thinking, oh, what is this person going to say if I'm flying off the handle? Or at home could be the same way. We have a little bit more leniency with our families at home, but sometimes work, or other social things, even with our friendships, we can get a little bit more emotional, a little bit more snippy, a little bit more sad. And so those things, we can start thinking about, oh, what are people going to be thinking about me? Um, Another thought is, am I becoming invisible as I age? Am I relevant? Right? So, and I know for me, I've been working with teenagers for a big part of my life, but I couldn't tell you what a song is that they're listening to now. I used to be like all in it, right? And not that I dance the way that they dance, but I could tell you I could, I think the last thing that I learned was like the okay, I'm dating myself, like the floss and dapping and things like that. And so, and I'm sure that there were some things since then, but I felt like I didn't connect like I used to, and not knowing why, because I didn't do anything different. Well, I would say that the music was so much better before, but okay, that's a whole different segment. All right, but I can start thinking, am I invisible? Am I invisible to the teens that I have devoted so much of my life and my time to? So I can get really insecure about that. And then there's that thing about brain fog. Is it really brain fog, or is it something worse? Because it feels like it's something worse. It feels like when I can't think of the words, and I've said this plenty of times before, when the things are right in front of me and I can't think of the word, it's on the tip of my tongue. Um, but I'll describe something as the thing that you're holding in your hand that you click, meaning the phone. You start thinking, okay, there might be something else wrong, but there might not be. I can't be the one to tell you, but we can start feeling and thinking those things. Here's another one, really, really vulnerable. Am I still desirable? Are you still desirable to your partner? You can start thinking about, because you are changing so much, because physically you're changing, but emotionally you may not be connecting. And so you're not feeling or looking the way that you had been. And so there's lots of fears that can come in to thinking that I'm not desirable anymore. Those things are real. um, and just thinking overall, what's happening to me, because no one has been explaining it all along. And so, you know, at work, you kind of know the progression of things, but here's this life. There's this thing that's going to happen, to an extreme, or maybe just a little bit, but it's going to happen to us, and yet we're only now talking about it. And I think about even friends of my own age. It's still a little tough for them to talk about it, and they seem so surprised that they're like, oh wow, I can't believe that you're saying all of this on camera, or just talking about it so freely. And it's one of those things that it's still not easy. It's not easy to talk about, but I am confident that we must, because we've got to get through this. We got life to live, and we got things to do. So, yes, we can start fearing that piece of it. You know, should I be talking about it? Who should I be talking about? I'm embarrassed to say this, that, and the other. There are things that we're going through, and then it doesn't help when, because people are not talking about it, it seems like we're the only ones that's going through it. you know I've been very open about being on antidepressants, and at one point, I'm sure at one point I may have thought something not good about needing to be there, but I'm like, thank you, modern medicine, for helping me to feel a lot more of myself, helping me to get the sleep and the rest that I need. So, but because people are not talking about it, you do tend to feel very isolated. And there's that fear of, I'm the only one that's going through it and no one's going to be able to understand. But I definitely want to assure you that I understand. I definitely understand. And then, probably two other things that I think about: can I keep up with the energy? No, I can't. I need to go to sleep. I need to go to sleep earlier. I may need to stay in bed later. I do my walks really to regulate me, and it's definitely to move and all the different things that I've learned about that. But I need to be able to wake up at a time and go to sleep at a time that's regular, so that I can be in step, so that I can feel that I've got some control. And so again, I'm not one of those people that hits the gym and I'm like, that's never going to happen. So, I do my walks and I enjoy them. And so it's incredibly helpful. And then that whole, again, overall feeling, will I ever feel like myself again? And that's a big one, because perimenopause can last 10 years, somewhere between 4 and 10 years it's going to last. And, you know, that sounds like and feels like forever. It feels like forever. It's so heavy. When we're off one day, we can feel like we're all messed up. But if you're, 365, and then we're talking 5 times that, it can be overwhelming, you know. Now, the good part about it is that it doesn't have to be. And we've talked about this before. And the reality is that some of us will feel this a lot stronger than others. Some of us may not feel this at all. But the reality is that it is for a time, and it's not like, I don't know how I want to say this. It's not forever. It's not permanent. And it's not us. It's us becoming. It is us becoming something different, something better. And that's one of the things that makes me so excited about talking about it, talking about perimenopause, because we don't have to stay here. There was I read somewhere, and I may have said this before, the whole thing about all right, somebody correct me if I'm wrong on this, but the whole cocoon and butterfly, at some point, what we don't see is that it actually becomes totally liquefied, which is disgusting when you think about it, right? But when they're in that cocoon, they become totally liquefied, and then they come out this beautiful butterfly. How would we have ever known that it was liquid, and except for scientists told us this great thing? And I kind of feel like that we are, you know kind of in our perimenopause uh bubble, or silo, and we're being liquefied, we're changing, we're growing, maybe we're not feeling as beautiful and all that great stuff. But what's on the other side is absolutely amazing. It can be absolutely amazing, and I want to make sure that we can get there. So one of the things that I want you to do, if you're feeling any of those things, whether it was the fear or just some of those comments that I said, um, I just want you to internalize the fact that you are not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You are becoming something so amazing. You are going to be wiser. You are going to have more experiences. You are going to just know yourself so much more, because in the pause, in the perimenopause, you do get a chance to pause, and you get a chance to reflect, and you get a chance to, look inside and see, okay, what is it that's happening to me, and what am I becoming? What can I do next? And that's really the message that I want to bring about, is that, yep, we are going through all of that stuff, all of that liquefied cocoon stuff, but on the other side is something absolutely incredible. So this transition is not you becoming undone or anything like that. Things are shifting, but you're also aligning. All right. Your thought process is aligning to who you are now, not who you were 20 years ago. Your choices are aligning to the values that you have now, not what you did 15 years ago, or not when you were a little kid, right? You are becoming something so much more stable, so much more looking forward to enjoying. And you will have good and bad days, but overall, you are going to be what you are supposed to become. And that is such an incredible thing. Sorry. So, in regards to our emotions, yes, they can be out of control sometimes, right? And that's just reality. You're not falling apart, you know, you are waking up. right? And you're waking up to exactly who you're supposed to be at this time. And what the I guess the main thing that I really want to say is that you're not alone. You're not alone. And even though you may feel like you are alone, you are absolutely not alone. I'm here. There's a whole community that's here behind you and to lift your arms up and to encourage you and to laugh and to, at some point, you might be able to laugh at some of this. And this might not be your point. That's okay. It's coming. It's coming to a point where you're going to be like, oh, I never thought I was going to get through that. I felt that way when my kids were small, and I'm sure that I said this, and I said that people would be like, "Yeah, there's light at the end of the tunnel." I'm like, "There is no light. There is no tunnel." Right? I couldn't see it, but there is there's another side to this, and that's what we get a chance to become. So I am excited to be able to become together something phenomenal, something greater than we could have ever imagined. And just the freedom that comes with it, I'm excited to be able to share. So, with that, I just wanted to make sure that uh, you don't feel like you are left alone. I wanted to make sure that you didn't feel, um, or even if you did feel like you were alone, that you were now assured that you're not. That these fears, these insecurities, this all of the different things that I mentioned, yes, they will come and go. But the reality is that you are becoming something greater, and we are becoming something greater, and it's going to be phenomenal. With that said, I want to invite you to something. So on July 30th, 31st, oh my gosh, which day is it? It's Thursday, the 31st. Okay, we're going to say 31st. July 31st, Thursday. If you are in the Boston area, I would love for you guys to come to my segment called Thrive Through Perimenopause. It's going to be at the Wellness Center in Grove Hall, right? And Stop and Shop. They have this wellness center. And I'm going to be talking about some of these things. I'm going to be talking about uh, how, I don't know. We're gonna have fun. All right, that's what I'm gonna say. We are gonna learn some stuff, but we're also gonna have fun learning some stuff about us. All right, it'll just be an amazing time to be able to kind of get all this out, to be able to see the community that's around us, to know like, okay, no, we're not wearing like this headband that says I'm going through perimenopause, but we're gonna be able to identify. I saw this woman at I was at a restaurant, like a takeout restaurant, and she had this little fan on her. And it was just kind of like an identifying. Yes, it was hot, but it was the fan that that was like, okay, we're in the same boat. At any rate, thrive through perimenopause. And I would love for you guys to not only come, but to bring a friend. It's going to be a great time. It's from 6 to 7:30. And again, right up, it's very convenient, right in Grove Hall. And if you need any information, there's the flyer that's right up there. There's a QR code, and then you could also go to Thrive through perimenopause.com. Say that 3 times fast. Go there, register, sign up, bring a friend. It's going to be a fantastic time. So I hope that this time and every time that we get a chance to spend together is encouraging and helpful. And I hope that I brought something to you. That's great. And keep sharing. This is going to be great. We are great. All right. So, to my peoples, have an amazing rest of your Monday. And make sure that you come back next week for conversations with Teresa. And don't forget to register. Thrive Through Menopause. Peace out.